Kristen.
Hi, Gary. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Yeah.
We're ready for a tour?
Yeah.
Kristen, when did this all start?
We were founded in 1986 by a local veterinarian, Dr. Jerry Beekman.
I know Jerry, yeah. Great guy.
Yep. So he just saw that people were bringing wild animals to his vet clinic because there's no state or federal funding or program for the actual medical care of wild animals. So
Did it start on this site here?
we actually started at Newick Park. We just had one trailer and probably got one phone call a week and about 100 patients a year.
So it really took off quick.
And we moved here in 1990, and we now have our inside clinic, which is still very small for the patient load that we have, but we have 45 outdoor enclosures and a waterfowl enclosure, and we're up to treating about 1,600 patients a year.
Wow.
We definitely really depend on our volunteers for the daily tasks and stuff like that. And also through the winter where we don't have our interns or our senior interns, we totally depend on our volunteers to help us keep things going.
But yeah, when he first came in, he could barely stand up.
That might be enough.
Okay, good job.
Okay. And I just fill these little capillary tubes. Let it spin for 3 minutes, and the red blood cells will separate out from the rest of the blood plasma, and then we can take a look at the percentage of red blood cells compared to the total blood, and then we can also take a look at the plasma itself, which will tell us what the protein level is.
So that determines the release, too, of the blood test, right, of the animal?
Yeah, I mean, we don't do blood tests with all of our animals. Some of them it's harder to do, like porcupines, for example, are really hard to take blood on. But with this guy where we didn't know exactly what was going on with him, it's a good idea to pay special attention to the blood and just make sure everything looks okay.
It's the exact same guy I swim by every day. He's just...
There are a lot of them. We see several different species of gulls here, but by far the herring gulls are the most common. But we love them all.
How did Ollie end up here at the center?
So he was actually hit by a car, unfortunately, and had some pretty severe head trauma, and the rescuer didn't know that we existed, and unfortunately, wild animals need the same sort of medical care.
Care right away.
Right away, and so she had him for about 6 weeks, and by the time she brought him to us, he was pretty much on death's door. He was completely emaciated because he hadn't been getting the nutrition that he needed, but our medical staff were able to give him subcutaneous fluids and injections and really get him.
So he's a full-time resident now.
He is, yep.
He's an ambassador
He is.
for the center.
He's an ambassador for his species. He was hit by a car, which is, the number one reason that we get patients at the Center for Wildlife. We have what we call our animal assistance hotline, so we encourage people to call before they bring in animals,
Right.
so that we can educate them on normal behaviors and make sure that it's not just a juvenile or a young animal.
Right.
So the ones that come to us are truly injured, or they've become orphaned. Their parents have been hit by cars.
Right. Or you can make the proper referral if you can't handle
Exactly. They certainly are prone to being hit by cars because they're scavengers.
Yeah.
And we always like to recommend for people to keep all wildlife safe, to keep food and trash out of the roads.
Right.
I think all of us, before we started working here, would throw an apple or a banana out the window and
Right.
think that we're helping to feed our wild animal friends.
We're actually hurting.
Yeah, it just teaches them that that's a place that they should go to look for food, and it's not safe for them.
He might live a little bit longer now. He's having a good, nutritious diet here.
Yeah, definitely.
He's adorable. Was he hit by a car, you think?
Yeah, we think so. So he had some pretty minor cracks. Like the main crack was just right
And then
here.
you eventually move those clips?
Yeah, so what we do is we'll super glue on these metal brackets. They're kind of like sewing brackets.
Yeah, I've seen those.
Yeah, we give it a little time to dry. We usually let it dry overnight, and then we'll wire it shut, and that's just pulling the bone together. We also clean it out really well and make sure there's no road debris or shell debris in there because, then it could get infected. But so what we do is just wire it shut, and it just brings the shell together so that blood and other nutrients and stuff can pass through the crack because the shell is made of bone. Just like if you were to break your arm, the doctor would put a cast on it and just brace it until the bone was able to heal itself. So that's all this is a brace.
So he'll be returned to the same area pretty much.
Yes, yeah, the exact same area. He also had a minor crack back here, but it wasn't too bad. So we bracketed that just to be safe. So once they're stable, we just pull these brackets right off. They're just super glued on. They pop right off.
A family had been watching Gaia's parents make a nest, raise the babies, and then they've been observing that. They kind of have their babies in February, and then they all fledged from the nest in June and left the tree, and she was left behind, and she was on the ground by herself for about 3 days. So they knew something was off and gave us a call, and we noticed that her right wing droops a lot.
Yeah.
So she had an old fracture in her shoulder, so it had broken a while ago and had already healed, and birds have hollow bones, so you can't just re-break them and then
you
reset
can't.
them. So her injury was permanent.
But she's a big hit at the schools, I bet.
And we were able, because she came to us as such a young bird, we were able to work with her at a really young age because we knew that she was non-releasable, so she's very calm.
Wow, that is so beautiful.
Yeah, she's pretty amazing.